I wonder if Jesus were alive today walking on the earth, what kind of a job would he have? He'd probably be visiting people in nursing homes. He'd probably be in hospitals. He'd probably be preaching. But you know what I think he would do for a great amount of his time? I think he'd be a story writer in Hollywood. Listen as we hear the challenge of Jesus the Storyteller today.
Faith is an act of courage. In this series, we come face to face with women from around the world who put their faith into action. Women who courageously carried the torch of God's love and compassion into the dark corners of the second millennium. In today's parable, Jesus tells us that the kingdom of God begins here and now, feeding the hungry, sheltering the homeless, clothing the naked, comforting the lonely and the afflicted. Where do we begin? One woman used to say, little by little. Her name, Dorothy Day. She has been called the most important, interesting, and influential figure in the history of American Catholicism.
So there they are, 10 of these girls standing with their lamps, standing ready with the beautiful dresses on, waiting for the groom to come and looking and searching so that they wouldn't be caught unawares.
They're coming! Look, they're here! They want to catch us sleeping. They should be here soon.
Those foxes. They thought they'd catch us unprepared. They think they're going to put one over on us. Judith, I'm running low on oil. I didn't think they'd take this long. Can I borrow some of yours?
What do you want? I don't know you.
I'm part of the wedding. I have my dress and my flowers and my lamps burning.
A beautiful woman, but a woman who cursed her beauty. Oh, she cursed the long red hair she had. She cursed the seductive body that she had.
You're not going to put me off any longer!
Just a few more days.
No, I'll get my money by beating you. Oh yes, and your wife and your loving daughter. Within an inch of your lives. And then, I will send you off to prison. Sarig, go!
No!
No, get out of my feet him, Sarig!
No!
Leave us alone! Come, Sarig! Come, Sarig! Silence!
And there Lazarus was, all of a sudden having his life completely turned around.
Hi.
No, get her out of here! Get her out of here! Go! Go!
And his wife and his children couldn't come to him, couldn't do anything to help him. Well, they did try in the beginning. They would prepare a meal and they would set it on a side of a street and then run away, and then hopefully he could come up and he could grab the food and eat. But pretty soon other lepers saw this and they stole the food. Oh, and it was such a pitiful life that the only thing that Lazarus could do would come and sit by the house of Dives.
Why do you have to come to the front of my house to beg? Go away! Do you know, I can't even invite my clients here to visit because of you? I'm losing big money because of this.
Zedekiah, what did you do with the money?
Sir, he gave me 5,000 coins, and I have earned 5,000 more.
Wonderful! I've left you in charge of only a little, but now I will put you in charge of much more. Come and share in my happiness.
And then finally, Pons came in. Well, Pons was a little bit nervous, but he was still very positive because he knew he had done the prudent thing.
Councilman Alcor, what options do we have in dealing with this attack on our neighboring kingdom?
We are morally obliged to rescue our friends in the neighboring kingdom under siege.
The first thing that we should be concerned about is building up our own defenses so that we can withstand any sudden attack. Also, we should be sending emissaries to all our neighboring kingdoms so we can form an alliance so we can crush the enemy.
We should bring in the harvest. Even though it is not nearly ripe for another month, we will need all the food we can get.
That's right. My soldiers need to be fed, and they need to be fed well. If we ration their food mostly to them, we should be able to stand a siege for 2-3 months easily.
The soldiers? What about the children?
Begging your pardon,
Before
Your
we do
Highness.
anything, we need to find out the size of the army that's sieging our neighbors. Then, talk to the leaders and find out their intention.
Oh, they're out to ruin us, I know.
We don't know that.
He was digging away, and all the hopelessness of his world, just digging away. And then all of a sudden, boom, with the pickaxe, he hit something. And it wasn't rock, because he'd been hitting rock all day, but there was something metal. He kind of dug around, and lo and behold, whoa, there was a metal box. And there was a big lock on the box. He thought maybe he'd call one of his buddies to come and see, and then he thought, no, I'm going to keep this box a secret, keep it for myself. So he looked around, he started to cover up the box, putting dirt around it. This is a story about a man by the name of Boaz and his wife Era. They had a business, and it was a tent-making business. They started very simply. Boaz was very proud of his work. It was a hard work because you had to get skins, and you had to cure the skins and work on them very hard.
And if you two don't quit hovering over me and stop criticizing me, I'm going to quit. You're both just too demanding.
You know, I think we are being a little too demanding.
I just don't want to see a poorly constructed tent.
Well, of course, neither do I, but we've got to trust him. I mean, you've trained him. Let him do it.
Well, how much did you lose?
The truth is, the losses have totaled more than $1 million.
Oh! How could you have been such a fool? Do you know what this means? We'll be beaten. We'll be sold into slavery. And what about our daughter?
Oh, Jeb was just devastated. He didn't know what to do. Here he had $1 million debt. The only thing he could think of was to come and beg forgiveness of Caleb. He knew that he was probably going to be beaten, and his wife and child, and then sent off to prison. 4 days of not any food and not any work.
What are you doing?
I already went to the market today. There were no jobs to be had.
You do realize we only have 1 day's
Yeah, I
supply
know.
of food left. The children are going to starve.
I know. What do you want me to do? I'll try again tomorrow.
Don't you dare come back without money.
He really kind of resented her demand, but still he loved her and he wanted to get food for her. It was a very difficult situation.
This is the first day of harvest. I need strong men to work hard so I can get the harvest to market. Who will work with me? I'll pay each one of you 8 shekels.
8 shekels. That was more than he'd ever received for a day's work. He was so excited. And maybe they could even extend it beyond 1 day, maybe 2 days or 3 days to cover this whole vineyard. So they went out. Eli lived in Jerusalem, and he was a frustrated young man because even though he was working and making money, he wanted to get out of Jerusalem and go up to Galilee and be a farmer. And he had a girlfriend who was the daughter of his boss by the name of Miriam, and she shared that dream with him. Oh, they would come together and just dream of the day when he would be able to have enough money to get his own property, and they could move up to Galilee, be married, and then spend the rest of their lives working on a farm. Well, Eli worked and worked and worked, and finally, after several years, he had gotten enough money to go up to a man by the name of Benjamin.
I've got a lot of enemies, Lord. Many fight me and say, God won't rescue you. But you are my shield. You give me victory and great honor. I pray to you, and you answer from your sacred hill. I sleep and wake up refreshed, because you, Lord, protect me.
This is God's house. This is not a place for a sinner like you. I want you to leave immediately.
Everything seemed to be going well, and she was holding on until a knock came at the door.
May I help you?
The king wants this property.
What?
You have been ordered to sell this property. You are going to have to sacrifice for the good of all. You'll move off this property.
You can't do this. This property has been in my family for 5 generations. You can't just walk in here and demand that I give up my land. I'm a Jew. I have rights.
You'll be paid. You'll get 100 shekels.
100 shekels? That is absurd. I can raise half of that with a harvest of grapes. Where will I go?